Welcome back to Deep Crimes Uncovered. What if the answer to some of our biggest problems wasn't a future discovery, but a secret buried in the past? Picture a world without crippling gas prices, a reality where the 1970s energy crisis never paralyzed the nation. In that exact era, a young inventor from El Paso, Texas named Thomas Ogle, claimed he held the key. He designed a system that allowed a massive, gas-guzzling V8 Ford to get over 100 miles per gallon. It was an invention that could have single-handedly ended our dependency on oil. But Ogle wasn't celebrated as a hero. His life took a dark and violent turn. After allegedly refusing a multimillion-dollar offer from a major oil company, he was shot, and just months later, he was dead. So, was this just a tragic story of a troubled genius? Or was this inventor killed for a secret big oil couldn't afford to let out? To understand the magnitude of Ogle's invention, you have to feel the chaos of the 1970s. The OPEC oil embargo had sent the country into a tailspin. Gas prices were skyrocketing, and endless lines at the pump became a symbol of national frustration. The classic American V8, once an icon of freedom, was now an expensive liability. America was desperate for a way out. And into this crisis walked Thomas Ogle. He wasn't a PhD from a prestigious university or an engineer from a corporate lab. He was a mechanic and high school dropout who simply loved to tinker. His revolutionary idea didn't come from a laboratory. It came from a lawnmower. As the story goes, Ogle accidentally punctured his mower's fuel tank. Instead of repairing it, he ran a vacuum line from the tank directly to the engine. To his astonishment, the mower kept running for a reported 96 hours on nothing but the fumes from the remaining fuel. That accident ignited a world-changing question. What if a car could do the same? For decades, the internal combustion engine had one basic principle. A carburetor mixes liquid gasoline droplets with air to be fed into the engine. Ogle's idea shattered that convention. He theorized that a vaporized gas would be far more efficient than a liquid mist. So he got rid of the carburetor entirely. His new system used the engine's heat to warm the fuel tank, turning the liquid gasoline into vapor. The engine's vacuum would then sip these fumes directly into the combustion chambers. He claimed the result was a hyper-efficient burn that produced almost zero pollution and left no carbon buildup. He wasn't just improving an old design, he was making it obsolete. The engine was literally running on fumes. To legitimize and protect his creation, he filed for a patent, which was granted as U.S. Patent Number 4,177,779 for a fuel economy system for an internal combustion engine. With a patent secured, it was time to prove his claims to the world. On April 30th, 1977, Ogle staged a public demonstration that quickly made headlines. His vehicle of choice was a 1970 Ford Galaxy, a 2-ton beast with a huge V8 that typically got a dismal 13 miles per gallon. Reporters from the El Paso Times and other observers watched as the car's fuel tank was completely emptied. 2 gallons of gas were then measured and poured back in. The car was inspected for hidden fuel tanks, but none were found. Ogle then started the engine and began a 200-mile drive from El Paso to Deming, New Mexico, and back. He didn't just make it. He reportedly drove 205 miles at highway speeds on less than 2 gallons of gas. The world was stunned. The demonstration appeared to prove the impossible. A heavy V8 sedan achieving over 100 miles per gallon. But while journalists saw it with their own eyes, the results were never validated by independent, controlled scientific testing. Many engineers remained skeptical, questioning its feasibility and whether the results could ever be reliably repeated. Skepticism aside, the news spread like wildfire. Tom Ogle became an overnight celebrity, the local mechanic who might have just solved the energy crisis. Everyone wanted a piece of his invention, major auto manufacturers, the US government, and, of course, big oil. This is where the story turns sinister. The attention wasn't all positive. It attracted powerful entities who stood to lose billions if Ogle's device ever reached the mass market. Legend has it that a representative from a major oil company, believed to be Shell, approached Ogle with a staggering proposition. They allegedly asked what he would do if offered $25 million for his invention. Ogle, a man who believed his technology should belong to everyone, supposedly refused, stating it was not for sale. While there is no paper trail to prove this offer, the story highlights the immense financial powers his invention was challenging. As the pressure mounted, Ogle's life began to unravel. He became entangled in lawsuits, financial problems, and disputes with business partners. His wife left him. He reportedly started drinking heavily and grew intensely paranoid, confiding in his lawyer that he believed his drinks were being drugged. The weight of his world-changing invention was crushing him, and he seemed to believe that someone wanted him stopped. Just months before his death, he was shot by an unknown assailant outside of a bar. He survived, but the message was clear. He was a marked man. On August 18, 1981, Thomas Ogle was found dead. He was only 24 years old. The official cause of death was ruled an accidental overdose from a combination of alcohol and the painkiller Darvon. According to the official report, it was a tragic conclusion for a troubled young man. But his family, his friends, and especially his lawyer never accepted that narrative. They insisted that despite his struggles, he wouldn't have deliberately taken a lethal dose of anything. His lawyer even stated his suspicions of foul play publicly. How does a man who was shot just months prior and on the verge of changing the world suddenly die from an accidental overdose? Was it a tragic accident brought on by stress and paranoia? Or was it the final move to silence an inventor who refused to sell his secret? The case was officially closed, but for many, the real investigation was just beginning. So, what became of this revolutionary invention? After Ogle's death, the rights to his technology were acquired by a company called Advanced Fuel Systems Incorporated, AFS. For a brief moment, it looked like the Ogle carburetor might finally reach the public, but it never did. AFS eventually declared the system impractical for mass production. An engineer from the company claimed that while it could achieve phenomenal mileage in short bursts, it did so by burning off the most volatile components of the gasoline first. He said the process left behind a thick, useless gunk, making it unfeasible for everyday use. Government agencies that had reportedly examined the system also declined to provide funding. Was the technology genuinely flawed? Or was that the perfect cover story to bury an invention that threatened the status quo? With Ogle dead, there was no one left to challenge the official narrative. The 100-mile-per-gallon carburetor, once a symbol of hope, was officially declared a dead end. As disturbing as Ogle's story is, it's not unique. It echoes a chilling pattern of revolutionary inventors meeting mysterious and untimely ends. His case is hauntingly similar to that of Stanley Meyer, the inventor who claimed to have built a car that ran on water. Meyer also died suddenly and mysteriously, with his last words allegedly being, "They poisoned me." Now, just as with Ogle's carburetor, the science behind Meyer's water fuel cell is fiercely debated by mainstream scientists. Still, the parallel is undeniable. Both men claimed to possess technology that threatened trillion-dollar energy monopolies. Both were dismissed by experts, and both died under a cloud of suspicion, leaving their world-changing inventions to become the stuff of conspiracy and legend. So, what do you think is the true story of Thomas Ogle? Was he a brilliant but flawed inventor whose device was a dead end? Or was he assassinated in a silent war for our energy future, killed because his secret was too valuable to share? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you want to dive into more stories that the powerful don't want you to hear, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. The case of Thomas Ogle leaves us with a giant, haunting what if. We have a patented invention. We have documented public demonstrations witnessed by journalists. We have a young inventor who is shot, then dies from a suspicious overdose right as he is gaining notoriety. And we have an invention that threatened one of the most powerful industries on Earth, which vanished after his death. The story of Thomas Ogle forces you to ask an uncomfortable question. What if the solution to our energy crisis isn't waiting to be discovered in the future, but has already been discovered and buried in the past? The truth, much like Ogle's forgotten carburetor, might still be out there, waiting. We will likely never know for certain what happened, but his story serves as a chilling reminder to always question the official story.